Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to VeggiePlays. Today we'll be taking a look at FTL Captain's Edition. FTL is an excellent game made by the awesome people over at Subset Games, and the Captain's Edition mod is contributed by these people right here, along with these people who helped out with the music. And I'll just shut up for a second so you can hear the music. That's actually from the original soundtrack. If you don't have FTL, I highly suggest picking it up. It's not very expensive at the moment. I think it's, last I checked, it was about $10, but it goes on sale fairly frequently. If you didn't pick it up in the Steam summer sale, I'm sorry to say you missed out on a pretty cheap discount there. But this is such a fantastic game, and we'll be playing the Captain's Edition mod along with several other mods as well. So the standard game is you play as the Federation, and you are trying to get from point A to point B, and everything in your way is basically trying to kill you. Now the mods I'll be playing today include the Captain's Edition, which adds several layers of interaction with your crew, or with other space stations, or with other ships, or with anything, basically. As well as just deeper customization of your ship and of your units. Well, not so much your units as your ship itself. And I will also be playing with a Disable the Fleet mod. Now, for those of you who have already played this game before, you know that the Rebel Fleet, shown here, will be pursuing you for the duration of the game, and then you go up against the final boss at the end. But with the mod I'll be playing, I have the fleet turned off, so there's going to be some trade-offs, but I'll get to those in a moment. So let's just jump into it first, shall we? Start a new game, why not? Okay, this is the standard ship that you start with when you start the regular game, when you start vanilla Faster Than Light. And each ship has a loadout of weapons and its own crew, shown down here, which you can customize. You can give them their different names, you can change what they look like. Sometimes they're humans, sometimes they're Engis, who have different... Each race in the game has different abilities. So humans are vanilla. Engis have... They're sort of like the Borg in a way, but good guys. They can repair things twice as quickly, but their combat abilities are cut in half. There's also the Mantis, which is sort of the inverse of that. Their repair speed is halved, but their combat abilities are much, much stronger. There's also the Rockmen, who are immune to fires. Fires happen a lot in this game. Oh yes they do. Oh yes they do, especially the way I play. There's the Zoltan, who I find quite interesting. I've never really found a use for them the way I play, but that might just be me. Zoltans are basically living energy. They can help power your ship. There's other YouTube series that go into more detail. I'll try and, if you'd like, I can be more educational about these games as I play them. But at the moment, I'm just giving you my impressions as they are right now. There's also, we talked about the Mantis, there's the Slugs, who are weird. They can basically see into enemy ships. That can be useful. It's limited, but it's useful. And then there's more Rockmen, and then there's these guys who are new to the Captain's Edition, the Lanius, who are anaerobic, and which means that they suck the oxygen out of the room that they're in. So as you can see here, this guy is a Lanius, and this room that he's in is pink. That means that there's no oxygen in there whatsoever. But since he doesn't need oxygen, he can stay in there and survive, as can this guy. If the humans or any other species were to go in there, they would start suffocating and dying, which can be a very effective strategy. And then there's the ship I like to use. This is the Crystal ship, made by the Crystal Empire. Not by the Crystal Skull. God, no. But these guys are crystals, and what they can do is they can lock down the room that they're in. So if someone's trying to break into their room through the doors here, they can lock the doors and sort of seal themselves in for a little bit longer. So we're going to play as this ship.
And we're going to rename it the SS Finer Things. I don't particularly see a need to rename the crew, but that's what'll be in the comments for this video. If you want to be on the crew, if you have a particular desire, let's just make them look a little bit different. Let's make one of these a girl, because I know we have a few girls out there, and one of these a guy, and then there's 2 crystals. So if you want to be in the crew of the SS Finer Things, put your name and what station you would want to be at. That's grammatically correct. Shut up. And what station you'd want to be at. There's engines, there's shields, there's piloting, and there's the weapons bay, which I will get into more as we play. So I'm going to do a few jumps. Actually, you know what? No. Yeah, let's do a couple of jumps. So as you can see, fleet delayed by 10,000 jumps, which means they aren't even going to be coming after me at all. So, the data you carry is... Hold on, let's see if I can do this. Let's see if I can do this with a voice. No, I can't think of one at the moment. The data you carry is vital to the remaining Federation fleet. You'll need supplies for the journey, so make sure to explore each sector before moving on to the next. Fortunately, the rebels are unaware of your escape. Hurry and rendezvous with Federation forces before the rebels wipe them out. Fleet pursuit is disabled, so that just means I have to get there in time. Okay, so welcome aboard the USS Finer Things. And first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just shuffle these guys around a little bit. I'm just gonna move them around so that they're. What I like to do is I like to have each member of my crew in order. So if I click on them up here, they're highlighted in the ship to match where they are. So if I click on Frank here, he shows up in the shields bay, and I like to have my crew laid out from left to right and top to bottom. So Tuvok is in the engines room, Frank, who's second, is in the shields room, Dude, nice, and Lindsay. Oh, I think I might actually keep Lindsay. I know a girl named Lindsay who spells it that way. Actually, no, she spells it differently. Anyway, so here's what we have. Our ship has two weapons currently, and they're charging at the moment, but there's no one else in the area. If there was another ship, we'll be bumping into them fairly quickly. We also have shields, which recharge, and engines, and oxygen, which you do not want to turn off unless you're really playing ballsy, which I don't. And you can also upgrade all of these stations as you go. So the more scrap you collect from battles by blowing up ships or completing quests, you can upgrade your each station. So you can have stronger shields, you can have better powers of better evasion chances, you can have a stronger med bay to heal up your crew. Most people don't really fill all 3 oxygen bars, but they have at least one there. That way, if the oxygen system gets knocked out, it'll just knock it off the first bit first. You can also fit more weapons onto your ship. You can upgrade your doors, which can be useful because you will be boarded and you will hate everything in your life. You can upgrade your sensors so you can see into the enemy ships a little bit better, and you can also upgrade its autopiloting so you can better evade. And you will also need to use power in order to fill these. These three stations do not need additional power. These up here do. And we will also, and as I mentioned before, if you want to be on the ship, give me your name and I'll put you in. If you have a preference of being a human or a crystal, let me know. And we will also be picking up more crew members as we go. It might be possible that we'll be picking up some in this first video. Actually, I don't think I'm gonna do that too many. I'll do a few jumps, but I won't go too far because I don't want to get too heavy into it. So here's the weapons that we have. Each weapon has its own charge time, as shown on the right there. I can't really mouse over because that doesn't really work. But each weapon has its own charge time, how long it takes to prepare before it fires. And by having someone in the weapons bay, that speeds it up a little bit. And the more skilled each crew member is in a given area, for example, Lindsay there is in the weapons bay, and the more times she fires weapons, that means she'll level up in that ability. So once she's fired 65 shots, that means every weapon will have 10% faster charge time. Same thing with everybody else. If we dodge 13 hits, we get an additional 5 points of evasion. If we get hit 50 times, to the shields, that means they recharge 10 times faster, and so on, and so on, and so on. So let's just do this first cluster of jumps right here. I won't go all the way too far in, because I don't want this video to get too long, because the Noir Syndrome got way longer than I intended. But I got it done. So let's just do this quick batch right here. And don't worry, I'll explain what's happening as I go. So, ordinarily when people play FTL, there's the Rebel fleet coming in behind you here. I have that turned off. When the Rebel fleet is following you, you want to try and get from here to here to here to here to the end as quickly and safely as possible. So that doesn't mean that you get to explore the whole area like I do. The trade-off is, since I do get to explore this whole area like I do get more chances to collect scrap and abilities to upgrade myself, but that doesn't also mean that I have more chance of survival. I could be running into a lot of nasty fights in here that I'm not aware of. I could be running into, for example, I've been in just this first sector here and nearly died several times, but that's the fun of this game. So, let's go off into our first jump and see what we can find, shall we? Okay, so there's nothing here, but that means I can show you some of the Captain's Edition stuff. The Captain's Edition adds in the ability to either socialize with your crew, which is just talking to them, and sometimes you can get optional quests or upgrades from them. Or you can just upgrade your own stuff if you have sufficient scrap. Since I only have 30 at the moment, I really don't have enough for anything. So let's just talk to our, you take a walk around the ship and see what you can find. Let's talk to our humanoid crew. Humanoid crew complains about how shut up. You're in space. How do you get a cold in space? Okay, here's a quest. You receive a request. All our military ships have been destroyed or damaged during the rebellion. However, there have been reports of a Mantis war camp only a few jumps from us. Can you help? We can either pledge to do what we can. Now, the Mantis we will talk about. The Mantis, generally speaking, are kind of your enemies in this game, but you can sort of finagle with that. Pledge to do what we can. We're going to be good people. We do what we can to help citizens in need. Thank you. If you can just Thank you. If you can just give us a count of their numbers, perhaps we can get the rebels to help. Add a quest marker, and they paid us for our time. Okay, so there's the quest marker out there. We won't go there yet. We'll get there eventually, but I don't think we're gonna go there just yet. Because if we do this whole sector, we'll be here all day. Ah, here we go. The captain of this ship with pirate markings claims to be an official rebel requisition officer. Yeah, right. When you refuse to donate to the rebellion, the ship cuts in comms and moves into attack. Okay. Strong radiation is beamed at your ship. Dirty weapons? Oh, screw you. Okay. So, I've hit the pause button now. What's gonna happen is, we are now in combat mode. So what I'm gonna do... Oh, crap. Okay, I need to kill these guys quickly because they've disabled my oxygen. So what's gonna happen is, I'm gonna turn on my weapons and target their ship. Okay, so I've selected their weapons and their oxygen. Generally speaking, every ship has this more or less the same layout you do. Not necessarily in the same style, but effectively the same systems. So what I'm gonna do is target their weapons, just so that they can't fire at me and do even more damage than they're already doing by shutting off my oxygen and possibly suffocating me to death. So hopefully that... Okay, so now what that means is I've sort of disabled this system. See how it's gone a little orange here? That means that system is damaged. That means it can't do as much, and so instead of having both of their weapons powered, they can only afford to have one active at the moment. I also have their oxygen, so that way I can suffocate targeted, so that way I can suffocate them, hopefully before I start dying myself. And each weapon continues to recharge over the course of a battle. Hopefully, I'll be able to knock them out before they kill me. Perfect. You made your point, we're beaten. Take these and leave us to our shame. I should kill them, but mind shielding is good. Okay, so if you're in combat, you have the chance of disabling your opponent to the point of them surrendering or offering surrender. Since I'm a good captain, I will be accepting their surrender. So this means they're offering me 3 fuel, 4 missiles. I don't have a missile weapon, but missiles are useful, and 22 scrap. that's not bad. Plus, an augment for mind shielding. What this is there's mind control in this game. I'll let you know when we encounter it, but we haven't seen any of it yet. But I'm going to be taking that. Okay, so the exchange of goods goes on without problems. Honor your truce and let the enemy leave. Yes, because open fire on your defeated opponent, that's just being a dick. Okay, and our oxygen's re-enabled. And we get the oxygen coming back to our ship, as you can see here in this little number right there. If I'm talking too fast, please let me know. I'll try and be a little bit more slow and steady and educational in the next video. But right now I'm just trying to give you a bit of a crash course. Because as fun as it would be to do this entire sector in one go, with the Disable Fleet mod that I have installed, this could take an hour if I'm not careful. So I'm just going to do these next 2 jumps and I'm going to do these next 3 jumps and get down to here. And then I'll cut the video there and leave it for the comments below. So, here we go. Okay. A rebel ship has been patrolling this region. As soon as you arrive, it begins its assault. Okay. Mind control protection. Now, this ship doesn't have mind control, but it does have drones, which we'll get to show you. I have no need to activate my mind control protection, so I'll just continue. Okay, what this is right here is an enemy combat drone. So it will repeatedly attack my ship until I shut down the enemy's drone systems. Generally speaking, it's a good idea to shut those down. And this right here is a missile weapon. And those can be nasty if you're not careful. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to target the enemy weapons and the enemy drone bay to try and shut those down first. Those, I think, are my biggest threats right now. This is a very slow-moving drone, but oh dear god, bombs. Oh crap, that's not fun. So what just happens here is this missile that they've shot has pierced my hull and is starting to now leak oxygen out of the medbay. Thankfully, I have no need to be in there right now, so this can stay leaking for a little while. Until this fight is over, at least. Okay, now their ship is also leaking oxygen. Generally speaking, if you... Oh, I need to stop saying generally speaking. But if you ever hear that sound, that means you have a hull breach, and you may be dead, son. You may be dead. So, okay, that's just, oh, okay, that's an empty room, that's fine. If it hits into an empty room, it'll just do hull damage to you instead of doing damage to your systems. If possible, you want to try and have your enemy's shots hit empty rooms. You have no control over where they hit you, but it's usually better to have it hit an empty space, like right over here, where it's not affecting anybody, or in just a room where no one is, or that you're not using at the time. So let's take a shot at their oxygen and their driver's seat, just because I'm feeling mean like that. Oh. So these guys aren't going to surrender. I think I'll just blow them out of the sky. And... bye-bye. Oh, see this right here? One more rebel ship bites the dust, and we get 1 missile, 1 drone part, which we're not using yet. We might use them later, but we're not using them right now. And 23 scrap. And we can continue. But before I do, see this little blue bit right here? Something I forgot to point out earlier is each ship, especially in Captain's Edition, each ship has its own special abilities. For example, there's a ship that comes automatically with a cloaking system, which we might pick up later. Who knows? There's another ship that comes with the ability to have your medbay if you have your medbay turned on, it will disperse the med bots, whatever they're called, throughout the entire ship. Your crew doesn't need to be in the medbay. What this ship has is called Crystal Vengeance, which means every time it gets hit, there's a chance that part of the ship will break off and hit the enemy ship back. Very helpful, but sometimes can lead to the ship accidentally killing itself when you just want to suffocate them. So, which gives me to another point. If you choose, I'm just going to select these 3 guys here, And this will also be a chance to show you this thing. So what happens is, I'm going to show you how to repair a system. See this red bit right here? This means this part of the ship is entirely disabled at the moment. And see how their health bars are going down? These little green bars are their health bars. Those are currently going down because there's no oxygen in the room and they're starting to suffocate. That is a very strong strategy, something I try and use myself whenever I play this game, and use that on the enemy. If you suffocate a ship, that means you get a better chance of getting better items and better rewards from defeating them. And what I've done just now is I've taken power away from the engines and put it into the med bay. I only have a certain amount of power at this point. I could upgrade in a moment, but right now I'm not going to. Since I'm not in combat at the moment, it's totally okay for me to take power away from somewhere and put it into somewhere else. During combat, it's a little bit more dodgy. There are some people who are able to run a ship on very little power and micromanage to the point where they can turn off one weapon and turn on the med bay and then turn up their evasion and turn down their shields. But that's way more thinking than I'm capable of doing at this point. And also, now these guys are all healed up because I turned the med bay back on. So we're going to send them back where they go. And Love this music, by the way. I just keep saying that about every game I'm playing. I don't even care if I'm repeating myself. It's just good. And this drone is just floating there. Hi, how are you? I'm a drone. So let's do a couple more jumps, and then we'll call it for right now. Alright, we're going into some more combat here. Ooh! Okay, this is interesting. This is another chance of a choice. This isn't necessarily a combat situation, it's more of a choice situation. So we arrive near a damaged and dilapidated space station. It appears to be abandoned, but you detect faint life signatures on board, so we could go on and see if we could find somebody, but we could potentially lose one of our crew members. Or we could just scrap the ship entirely, but we could sacrifice... we could skip the chance of picking up an additional crew member. I think I have a good chance of picking someone up if I do this. So let's board the station and look for survivors. So we don't find anybody, but we do get some scrap out of it. So that's good. We didn't lose anybody either. Alright, so let's just go down here, and I think I'll call it for the time being. Do one more quick round of combat. Okay, so you detect a rebel automated ship. It does not engage. It appears to be belonging... yeah, let's attack him. It's just a drone. Okay, I hate these weapons so much. This is just a rapid-fire missile that shoots a lot of small missiles at you. This bit right here is what's called an ion weapon. What that means is it can hit a system and temporarily disable it. It doesn't do any damage to it or to your hull, but it does just temporarily disable it. So if it hits my shields, the shields will be down for a certain period of time. They'll come back up, but they're down for a set period of time. And I can't do anything about it. So let's take out their weapons. This is an automated ship, so it doesn't have any oxygen. There's no point in me attacking any oxygen because there's no one there to suffocate. So let's just attack their weapons, and I think let's also attack their helm, just so they have a worse chance of evading my shots. And we just gotta wait it out. Eep. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, so they hit my engine bay. That's okay. Tuvaki took a few hits, but that's fine. You're a strong girl. Alright, their weapons are down. Oh, and see this? I didn't get a good chance to show this earlier. See this blue here? This blue crystal-y stuff? Since I'm using the crystal ship, that's part of my ship's abilities. Once we get another couple of crew members on board, I generally put them in the sensors and on the doors, but I'll talk about that more once we get there. But what this does is it sort of it has the same ability as these guys. I'll just do this now just to show you what it does. So what this ability is it's what I briefly described earlier on. It temporarily locks a room down. So this can be effective of both sealing your guys in and keeping their guys out of where they need to be. So if this were a live ship, I use the term live as in having live enemies on them. That means they would not be able to get into that room until they break through that. So that can be quite powerful if you just have if you get a hull breach on a room and you lock it down. That means that room will basically get deoxygenated within seconds. And by the time they get in there to start repairing it, they'll already be suffocating by the time they get in there. So it's a very strong strategy for this ship. Anyway, back to killing. See, this is a game I sort of understand already, so I can talk about it like that. If you don't want me to do that, let me know. And it's kaboom. Get the recent scans of the unguarded area, and the map has been updated. Okay, so sometimes if you attack an automated ship, that means that you get data stores. So we'll get, from this, a map of the rest of the ship. The map. Oh, perfect. This is actually a great place to leave off. Okay. So what that last battle gave us was a map of the rest of the sector. So everywhere there's a little triangle spot means that there's a possible ship there. So they may be friendly, they may be foe-y, but we don't know E. Shut up. I thought it was funny, okay? And I know it was not. Sections here, excuse me, sections here with this little orange circle around it, that means there's an environmental hazard such as solar flares or a asteroid field, or in this case a pulsar, which is continuous ion blasts, which will be our next stop when this series continues in the next video. There's also stores where you can buy upgrades for your ship. Oh, that's strange. Actually, you know what? Let's do these two, since these two jumps can't go anywhere. Let's just do these two and then back up here. Okay? That seems fair. It does seem a little cheap to just show you these two and then not show what happens to them. There's also stores we can buy upgrades and other weapons and possibly hire crew members. There's quest markers, and then there's the exit up here at the end. But I have to be able to get there, and since I can't get there from here, we may as well do 2 more jumps. Why not? I'm feeling generous. Okay, this is going to be a pain. Mind control, protection I don't need. This is a live ship, so let's try and go for my suffocation route. So let's target their oxygen and their weapons. They have a couple of weak weapons, but they seem like weapons that can fire fairly quickly. So there's strong weapons that take a long time to charge. Okay, so they're not terribly strong weapons. Okay, so what this thing does is it's basically a continuous ion fire, but it affects both sides. For example, on that last blast, it temporarily disabled my shields and my medbay, but it also temporarily disabled their shields and their oxygen. And so we have to wait about 2 seconds, or 1 second, or whatever it may be, before it comes back online. And it's just going to keep doing that throughout the battle. And generally be a pain in the butt. Be a pain in the ass for everybody. Also try not to curse so much. But, you know. Force it. To not curse, you know what I mean. Shut up. Okay, these guys are going. And they're dead. So no longer these pirates terrorize the people of this sector. Your final volley confirms their demise. So we get 3 fuel, 1 missile, and 20 scrap. So we're doing pretty well on scrap right now, but I'm not going to do anything just yet. And also I can't jump yet because my engines have been temporarily disabled. So let's jump over to here. I'm not going to do any upgrading yet. That's a question. I'll get to that in a second. Ooh, okay, this is a big one. And they've got a teleporter. Okay, that's a problem. We need to take that out. Let's put you in the doors control for a second. And let's just start suffocating you. And disable target their teleporter and their oxygen. That's a problem. They have a teleporter, which means that they're able to send units send crew members over to my ship. And since I don't have a teleporter, I can't do the same to them. But since I took their... Oh, I thought I had disabled it in time. They were able to bring him back. Had that been able to be shut down, I could have stranded him over here and suffocated him to death. Or killed him on my ship before he got a chance to go back to his. However, ooh, this one's going nasty already. Okay, this is bad. This is bad. This is bad. This is bad. No, 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 no. Okay. I just turned on auto fire. That way, this weapon will always be firing on their weapons. Right now, that's what I need to do. Just to keep their weapons. Oh, sorry, I'm distracted now. This is the first sector, and I'm already down to half health. So, as I said, there are flaws and their own set of difficulties to having the Disable Fleet mod on. Okay, so I've just locked this guy in, forcing this guy, their intruder, wherever he may be, probably right there, to start suffocating a little bit more. And let's put this on there. Hopefully, I can kill these guys. Oh dear me. I may actually die right now. This is horrible. This is incredibly, incredibly, incredibly bad. This is really, really terrible. This is genuinely awful. Nope, can't put him in there. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm totally distracted right now, but I really think I may die here. That's not good at all. Oh my. This is horrible. They've just taken out my weapons. They're taking out my doors, they're taking out everything. Oh man, this is bad, 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 bad. This is really, really bad. Now they're taking out my oxygen. Oh god. Oh no, 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 no. Okay, you and you. Just go up to the doors. Get those doors repaired. For the love of God, do something. I'm gonna die here. Okay, now let's get you up in the weapons, get you up in the weapons, and get you on the oxygen for the love of Christ. Just get on there and repair this ship so we don't die right now. And keep that firing on their weapons, and then you go on the shields. I know that's where I put you in the first place. Oh god, no! No, 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 no. Oh man, this is horrible. This is just the worst. This is the actual worst thing I have ever encountered. I've never been in a fight this bad. I don't know what's happening right now. This has never gotten this bad. But I'm completely going to lose right now. And I don't even have the oxygen turned back on. No! Oh, this is horrible. Oh! Oh, that's not what was supposed to happen at all. So that's what happens in FTL. You think you're gonna do so well, and then you get into one battle that just completely screws you over because you can't figure out the tempo. As such, my ship exploded almost immediately. But that is actually a fantastic place to end this. So, for next time, because I'm definitely coming back to FTL. I love this game so much. It is so wonderfully frustrating. It keeps you coming back and trying again and trying again and trying again, even though you get blown to pieces 9 times out of 10. So for next time, what I want to hear from you guys is, for those of you who have played the game before, what ship do you want me to use? I personally feel most comfortable with the Crystal Cruiser. But if there's something that you want me to play, if there's a ship you have or a strategy you have that you want me to try, let me know. And if you want to be in the crew, put your name in the comments below, and I'll find a ship that matches. So if you want to be on my Crystal Cruiser, if you want to be a human, if you want to be a Crystal, if you want to be just a boring old human, if you want to be an Engi on the Taurus ship, or whatever, put your name in the comments below and what race you would want to be. I'll put the list of the races below in the description after the mods and the game dev links. So that'll be all for now. I'll see you next time. I'm gonna go record another video, and I think that'll probably be all for this day's recording. But I'll see you next time. Hopefully you come back, and be sure to like and share with your friends, because that's what friends do, right? Right? I wouldn't know, I don't have any. Okay. Catch you next time. Bye!